Welcome to 28.5 Women's Basketball, where we explore a unique and authentic perspective on the women's game, break down upcoming matchups, and discuss the latest news and trends in women's basketball. We are your hosts. I'm Sydney Story, and I played basketball at the University of Tennessee under Pat Summitt.
And I'm Becca Goodman, and I played at the University of Notre Dame under Muffet McGraw. And we're thrilled to have you join us today. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoy what you hear, be sure to tune in each week and don't forget to follow, download, and listen to give an assist and share the love. Now let's get started with today's episode. Hey, Sid, how's it going?
Hey, Beck, how you doing? You excited for Thanksgiving coming up?
I am. I actually really am. I haven't seen the whole lot of my family in a while, and we always throw down some good food. So what about you?
Same. I'm excited. I'm going to spend Thanksgiving with a lot of my cousins and family and can't beat it. It's like something to look forward to every year. We don't see each other at a time. We all have kids and we're busy. And it's like the one time, this and Christmas is the one time we get together and we all hang out, have good food. I mean, it's the best. Put football on TV, sometimes basketball for me, and really enjoy it.
Separate TV for Sid if we have games on that we need to roll
That's
through. Right. Oh, awesome that it's a back-to-back holiday though, pretty quick. So you can see them all Thanksgiving and Christmas.
It is. It's great. And we try to spend some time in the summer also, but the holidays, you can't beat being with family. That's for sure.
Okay. I have to ask before we get rolling, do you have any Christmas stuff up or a Christmas tree?
Our house is like full on in the inside decorated because I've got two little kids, so they're like all about it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I
got the
thought
tree.
Maybe you wouldn't for some reason. I'm jealous.
I'm
struggling to get the momentum to do it.
Yeah, I just did it the past week, which is early for me, but
I love it.
It goes so fast that, and we're going to be gone the week of Christmas. We're traveling, so I really wanted the kids to have a decent amount of time with the Christmas decorate. We haven't done anything outside yet, which we probably should before it gets frigid cold, but inside is like a Christmas haven.
Oh, that's amazing. I've been struggling to put mine up. I go all out for fall, so I have a ton of fall lights and all that too, but I am dying for Christmas. It's just the amount of work that I'll have to do to flip it. It's not just like take a little bit down and put a lot up. It's take a lot down and put a lot up. So
yeah, fall is your go-to. That's like your favorite season. So I don't blame you for wanting to. It like shortens fall to me a little bit, right? When everyone goes gung ho, Christmas right after like Halloween, seems to be the trend.
And our Christmas will be up till like February because that's how I roll. I just love working from home, the lights and everything. You just
it's cozy.
For sure. Oh, holidays, they're upon us. So we hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving this week. Enjoy time with your family, eat some good food, and just kind of unwind and enjoy the holiday.
All right, let's jump in. We've got 4 full quarters as usual. First quarter, Becca's going to highlight the upsets from the past week. Second quarter, and thanks to Becca for these good names of these quarters. We've got good games and good wins for the second quarter, which should be a lot of fun today. We've got some really good games that just happened this past week. Third quarter, Arizona State game winner, which is going to be fun to highlight. And then the fourth quarter, we're going to talk about the holiday tournaments, the Thanksgiving tournaments that are happening this week and some of those key matchups.
All right, so jumping into our first quarter, the first upset we want to highlight is Thursday, number 19 Iowa upset number 7 Baylor, 57-52. Now, Sid, we've talked about Iowa. We talked about their potential. We've also mentioned how they have a great coaching staff. All the pieces, they're always ready to reload, get back in the gym, and go to work. I feel like this was such a big game for Iowa to win. Baylor, right? We didn't really hear a lot about them. Then they became number 7. They had a few upsets of their own. So rightfully so, high ranked. But Iowa was able to pull this off by just going inside to their bigs. I will say, I think Ava Heiden and Hannah Stuelke will be their go-tos for the remainder of the season. It's already been established in back-to-back games. Sophomore guard Ava had a nice double-double with 18 points, 11 boards. And during this game, Iowa played without 3 starters for some of it. So Stuelke tweaked her ankle, Chit-Chat Wright went out with an injury in the third, didn't return, and Kylie Feuerbach fouled out with 8 minutes left in the fourth. So winning this game and not having 3 of your starters for the majority of it's pretty wild. I do want to highlight Baylor's Taliah Scott, who scored 32 points. That girl's unreal, crazy athletic. She also scored 12 consecutive points to start the fourth quarter. But in the end, Baylor they missed their last 10 shots. They went cold. They didn't have enough. And obviously Scott is the go-to. Do you want to mention that crazy stat that we chatted on earlier?
Which one was it? Because there's a few out there.
Oh, okay.
Which one are you talking about?
You just go ahead. Whatever stat you want to add.
No, I want to spend a little bit of time on Ava, that sophomore. Last year, she was pretty good for them and got a decent amount of minutes, and she's deceptively good. Fun to watch, very heady. And that is like an Iowa typical player to me. And I think she fits the system there. And you couple her with Chit Chat and Hannah and some of the other girls they've got that are pretty good. I think this is a really good win for Iowa early here to keep themselves relevant in the game. I just was overall impressed with Ava. But what stat line are you talking about?
I wanted you to talk about the block party.
Oh, the block party. Oh my gosh. Baylor was just all over the Iowa girls. Iowa girls couldn't get a shot off down low for a while. It was absolutely insane. Yeah. How could I forget?
11 blocks for Baylor to 1 block for Iowa.
That's nuts.
Can we get a shot fake?
Right. And such a low scoring game too. Yeah. 57-52, Iowa ends up winning. And speaking of Iowa and their heady guards and their IQ, there was a play down the stretch at the very end where Iowa scores a bucket and then Baylor goes to inbound the ball and the Iowa girl just turns around and steals it and lays it right back in. I'm like, that is such an Iowa play right there. And it kind of sealed the deal a little bit too. So at Baylor's, they've got to do some bouncing back here. That 7 spot, like you mentioned, we were talking earlier, Duke fell out of that 7 spot. Baylor's now really falling out of that 7 spot. It's cursed right now.
It's definitely not lucky, number 7. I'll still say that. Somebody's got to change the tide there. I do just want to highlight Iowa also had a win against an unranked but very competitive Miami team. This was a close one as well. Iowa pulled it off 64-61. Again, that Iowa dominance of those 2 post players. Stuelke had 17 and 12, and Ava had 20 points and 6 boards. Let's talk just really quick. We've mentioned a lot about Jan Jensen. She's known as the post coach. She's always been the post coach, and they've always had just really skilled post players, and they use their body. We know they run the floor. I mean, I would say an outlet rebound outlet run, right? That is the Iowa post player go-to. You could have stars like Olsen from a couple years ago and Clark from a guard perspective, but that post play is almost, I'm not going to say it's in the likeliness of South Carolina, but they're always a program that focuses on having a post player presence, and they feed her, they put the ball into her, and they make sure that piece of that puzzle is strong, consistent, and can knock down go-to buckets.
I think that speaks volumes. We talk a lot about using everyone on the floor, and it's a team effort, and both these teams really well coached. I thought that was very relevant in the game with the turnovers, right? Iowa only had 12 turnovers. Baylor only had 13. That's a really good game to watch there.
For sure.
And it speaks to how they're using their post play, how the guards are getting them involved. And I just think both teams are pretty well coached. And shout out to Jan Jensen. This is a good signature win this year for them.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to our second upset. This one I'm really excited to be able to mention. I don't know if I'll listen to our last episode where we didn't have the best update about Notre Dame, but I will say I think this was the ultimate bounce back. I think they went to work. They went to the grotto. Maybe they were lighting candles. I also just
Basilica,
Yeah, all of it. I also just think their confidence level grew exponentially. So Notre Dame, number 24 at the time, pulled off a win against the number 11 USC 61-59. And this game was won on a buzzer beater by Hannah Hidalgo. Very Hannah-esque, coming down on that right-hand side, just went in, kind of a little mid-range floater. Went in, crowd went wild, epic. Very, very, a very dominant win that we had to have. Just like that pick-me-up to make everybody feel a little better about the season. I think the Michigan game last week, it was night and day. Complete turnaround. The amount of defensive presence that Notre Dame picked up on was crazy. So remember a couple weeks ago, Hannah had 16 steals by herself against probably not a great team. But collectively, Notre Dame had 16 steals against USC. And I think that highlights how they're all getting involved. They're all being, in the passing lanes, they're reacting, and they're scoring. I will just say, without Notre Dame's collective team defense and the confidence that KK and De Jesus came in, they really provided that supporting cast that Hannah needed, that it was pretty obvious we didn't have the week before. Props to Notre Dame, props to Niele. This was a complete turnaround. Week to week is hard to do, but to be able to struggle, and again, Michigan's a really good team. We'll talk about them here in a bit, that they're legit, but to be able to get that confidence boost to beat the number 11 USC at home, that crowd plays into it. I just think Notre Dame really bought in. Everybody stepped up, and the confidence that they had to know that they're here to do a job, they're here to play, and you're here and you're picked for a reason. I think it just lifted everybody up to do their role.
Yeah, I think it's very telling when Niele is trying to wear their hat right now on being a defensive team. I think they need to, because they've got Hannah Hidalgo who's capable of scoring, and then they're not very deep. We've talked about that. And they brought it defensively. I mean, it's another low-scoring game, 59-61, and it was just a defensive battle to me. And yeah, Hannah Hidalgo, she goes off for her 22 points, hell of a score. We talk about that all the time. But then it's kind of shallow for scoring, right? So when Notre Dame can play the defense they played against USC, they can hang with anybody. The second a team opens some of that up, like we saw against Michigan, I think it's going to be a little bit tougher for them. But if they can play that solid defense, they can beat good teams. And I think that's what they're going to have to hang their hat on all season a little bit here. And maybe that's okay, right? It's a different style from last year that we saw with Notre Dame. Notre Dame was putting up close to 100 points against some of the decent opponents, right? So it's just a whole different feel. It speaks to how coaches have to adapt from year to year with the transfer portal. And obviously they graduate players like Sonia Citron last year and girls that could flat out defend and score. So it's telling that scoring is missing for Notre Dame, but if you can play some defense, old school Pat Summitt style, like who cares? You just got to win by one against some of these teams. And I think it was a neck to neck possession type game. You speak about Hannah Hidalgo's pull up at the end, a little bit of a float to it, but man, her footwork was like perfect. I would like rewinding it, watching it, rewinding it, because we talk about that 1-2 step pull up all the time. And a lot of the younger players nowadays want to do that like hop step into it, and it's a slower pull up, and they don't want to take the time to learn how to properly do a pull up jumper. And her footwork was like impeccable. Like I was just watching the second she goes to drive. You mentioned it. She's driving with her right hand. That left foot is sticking first, and that right foot follows for that 1-2 step. And like she's elevating over the girl. And Hannah's not tall, right? So like that's the footwork and the way you need to do it to get that shot off. And like it was perfectly executed by Hannah. It was so exciting too. Like when it went in, I'm like, man, she's good. Yeah, she's so good. And
I think it was that like, I'm not saying Hannah has her swagger, Hannah has her confidence, but to hit a game winner like that, I think just takes the level of leadership that she had the whole game to another level. Like she was able to support everybody throughout, get the best of her teammates throughout the game, and then finish it with the bow tie. One last highlight I just wanted to mention. With 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third quarter, USC was up 51-40. So 2 minutes left basically in the third quarter. Notre Dame's down 11. The end of the game, ND was able to flip that around, and the final was 59-61. So throughout the course of basically the whole fourth and 2 minutes, USC only scored 8 points where Notre Dame put up 21. So huge run to end the game. And hopefully this is just something that they continue to springboard on, build off of, and keep rocking.
I'm excited for next year to watch Jazzy Davidson, the freshman this year, play with Juju. That's going to be they're going to be really good next year.
And I don't know, this is horrible. I had it, but they also just got the number 1 pick for the next year. So they're going to have 3 number 1 picks over the course of 4 years that USC has gotten. And they're all going to be playing on the same team.
They're going to be so good. That's really cool. Yeah. I'm excited for that. I think obviously South Carolina, UConn, like they've been kind of those two teams that have won a lot of the national championships lately consistently. And maybe SC, maybe Southern Cal is going to be that team coming up here. We don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty exciting.
Completely agree.
Okay. Well, exciting for the Lady Irish. We'll keep following them this year because that was a hell of a bounce back win for sure. Let's jump into our second quarter. So we've got good games and good wins. We're going to jump right into the number 1 UConn versus the number 6 Michigan game. UConn won this one 72-69. And man, was this an all-out battle. Michigan is legit good. We saw them kind of blow out Notre Dame a week ago, and then they turn around and play the number 1 UConn team, who we've talked about already as like, is anyone in their league? And Michigan was able to hang. And I was a little bit nervous that first quarter. Michigan only scored 5 points in the first quarter. And I'm like, oh, this is not looking good. Like, you can't get down to a UConn team like that and make up ground. Like every game you watch for UConn, when a team gets down by like 10 to 15 points, you're like, yeah, game's over. But man, Michigan battled back. Syla Swords is one of the best guards in the country. Like, so good. She was good last year as a freshman. We watched the opening of the season last year when they played South Carolina. We were talking about that girl. Like, this girl can hang. And she took it at UConn. And obviously UConn's got Azzi Fudd had an amazing game. Sarah Strong had an amazing game. Those girls are going to show up. Like, they are the best, some of the best players in the country. But Syla Swords is right there with them. I was just like, this is so fun to watch somebody take it at UConn. Syla had 29 points. She played all 40 minutes, rightfully so. How do you take her out? She was 9 for 21, 8 for 14 from the three-point line, hit some clutch threes at the end of the game, really to keep Michigan in it. She had 9 rebounds. I mean, that girl is phenomenal. And they're really, if you think about Michigan, they're really guided by their sophomore play. You've got Mila Holloway. She played 37 minutes, only had 7 points, but she really is involved in the game and does a ton for Michigan. And then Olivia Olson is phenomenal also. She had 18 points. She was 8 for 22. Had 10 rebounds. I mean, those girls are Michigan right now. If you look at their scoring and all their stats, those 3 are phenomenal to watch. And I'm excited to watch them. I think Michigan is really on the map now. Arguably, when I look at this, yes, they lose to number 1 UConn. But to me, I think they're a better team than LSU, which seems crazy because LSU is stacked with players. But Michigan is so disciplined, so poised. They play so well together. Like, I would love that matchup at some point. Maybe it happens in the NCAA tournament where LSU plays Michigan, but LSU is ranked in front of them right now because, quite frankly, they have a lot of talent. They play for Kim Mulkey, but they haven't played anybody. And Michigan's playing folks, right? They just play the number 1 team. And I hope that matters. And we're recording this before the rankings get readjusted here this week. And maybe they do something there. But, man, I'm like, Michigan deserves to be ranked in that top 5 is kind of where I'm at right now. And then, I mean, talking about UConn, Sarah Strong is just every game making a case for why she should be the player of the year this year. I mean, she's so good, deceptively good. We talk about how she went to work on her game in the offseason. We talk about how UConn players just get better under Gino. She's like embracing that. She had 20 rebounds in the game. 20 rebounds. Like, what?
Light work. Just a normal day of the week.
Against a good Michigan team, too. So, and then Azzi Fudd is phenomenal. She had 31 points. I mean, they're going to bring it. Those girls are going to bring it. They're UConn, right? So, but to see Michigan hang, ooh, I thought that was telling. What were your thoughts on that one, Becca?
So you mentioned Michigan having only 5 points in the first quarter. I don't know what's more perplexing to me, that Michigan had 5 points in the first quarter and the game was still close, or that how the heck did UConn only score 4 points in the third quarter? When have you ever seen a UConn team only score 4 points? I mean, I literally don't think that's ever happened.
Never. Yeah. Never.
And the great part is, I mean, we've all had those UConn games where, I mean, thankfully and respectfully, I was glad I was able to beat them at once in my career. But we've had those games where they blow you out, or it's not a good game. So you throw the tape away, you pretend it didn't happen, you learn from it, but you move on, right? You grab what you need to work on and go. Michigan is able to, third week of the season, compete with the number 1 team and have them on the ropes. I think Michigan is scary good. They play girls off their bench. The bench players come in. They know it's not the type of team where a bench player comes in and you're kind of getting good and bad, right? Some bench players come in, they can give you a quick bucket, but they might give you a turnover, not know the play, or have a bad pass. These girls, as you mentioned, crazy disciplined, very locked in, know their role, all supportive. I think Michigan's building like the real deal right now. I truly believe that.
I totally agree. I'm excited to watch them. Again, it's fun for another team to be on the scene that can hang with the UConns of the world. It makes it so much more entertaining to watch some of these games. And I was saying, I don't think anyone's beaten UConn this year. I think they're going to run the table. Now there's a little bit of hope that a team can hang and maybe knock them out in the tournament, and we don't see a repeat there. I know all the UConn fans are probably cheering for that repeat, but some of us are not. Just going to be real. It's hard for me sometimes to root for UConn, but let's jump to another game. I think we're going to for sure be highlighting Michigan and UConn throughout the remainder of the season. The Kentucky versus Louisville game, and this is the battle of the state. And Kentucky really, they kind of just own this one. They win this one by 10, 72-62. We wanted to highlight it because it was a good matchup, and it's that in-state rivalry. I just really thought Kentucky had the upper hand. Louisville, we've mentioned it, kind of fallen off here a little bit. And so that's interesting. But really, I thought Kentucky, they've got some girls that just show up and play. Kentucky's just solidly putting up points. Not very deep. They only played 7 in the whole game, but I think Kentucky's good. And Kenny Brooks is a great coach. They lose Georgia Amore this year, so we haven't talked a ton about Kentucky because she was a big star for them. But really well coached. I think it's going to be fun to see what they can do this year. They were ranked 20th at the time. I think they can make a splash if they keep winning some of these games. Louisville was ranked 21st, right? So it was a good matchup on paper there. I just think Louisville's a little flat. I mean, Roberts had a good game. She had 22 points. Ziegler had 18 with 11 rebounds. Just not a typical Jeff Walz team that we've seen in the past, even these past couple of years here. So interesting to see what happens there. And I'll mention it again, but Kentucky just from start to finish, it was 19-18 at the end of the first. Like it was close, but then and close at half. But really that second half, Kentucky came out on a mission in that third quarter and really just kind of put it away in my mind. And they only win by 10, right? Like it's not like they blew them out or anything, but just seemed like they had the upper hand most of the game. What were your thoughts?
Anytime a team is shooting over 50% from the floor, it's going to be a rough game. So Kentucky shooting 53%, I think that was pretty telling of how the direction of the game would go. They also out-rebounded Louisville 41-27, and Kentucky had 8 blocks. I mean, that's a little bit of everything. That's your offense, that's your defense, and that's just your overall effort and hustle. So not shocking to see Kentucky win this one. I'm glad they got the dub. Definitely going to be hearing more about them, and I think Louisville's got some rebuilding to do for sure. I agree with you.
Yep, totally agree.
Sid, let's jump to the third quarter, where this is a team we really haven't heard much about or honestly talked a lot about. It's just, we focus on the top 25 quite a bit. There's just so many good games there. But our third quarter is the Arizona State game winner. So this is a Big 12 conference. Want to highlight Arizona State. They played UNLV. You might not have heard about this game, but you for sure should have, and you for sure should look it up because the video is pretty wild. Again, we don't really talk about the Big 12 a ton. It's just a different level of intensity, I feel. But also when you have those programs that are really built, right? Big 10 added USC, right? It's just a different vibe per conference. I really felt that even when I played, like we played somebody and I was like, holy cow, that was, did you ever notice or feel that way? Like when you played someone from a different conference, it was just a different style that you weren't expecting.
Yeah. Oh, totally. That was the Big 10 for us because the Big 10 when we were playing wasn't all that strong. And I remember playing Purdue and I was like, this just felt weird. Like it's just like a weird like style of play almost. Like, yeah, I totally know. I totally can relate to what you're talking about.
So I will say we played Minnesota one time and we got punched in the face, literally, like we lost. And it was a different style and intensity and like strength of game. I don't think we were expecting. We were about on our heels. Obviously, we lost. But that was just a real eye opener. So back to this amazing Arizona State game. So end of regulation, right? We're in the last 10 seconds of the actual game in the fourth quarter. It's tied 53-53. Arizona State has the ball, trying to make something happen. And they're just dribbling on the three-point line, trying to do like a dribble weave almost, a handoff one way, a handoff the other way. Well, right in front of their coaching staff's bench, like right next to the scores table, that area where If you're running a full or half court trap, you never want to go. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that corner right by the half court. They're dribbling. They try to go do a handoff and they lose the ball. Arizona State guard does. Then the senior guard, Washingtonets, picks up the basketball. She's facing the scores table. She picks this ball up, turns, and just launches it. I'm talking, doesn't even see the basket, I don't even
Insane.
know if she
So crazy.
if she saw the time. She probably just knew it was winding down. And she banks a 3-pointer in from Caitlin Clark range, side, between half court and it was just crazy. And I just want to highlight, she didn't have the best game. This was the only bucket she hit, and it was pretty much the game winner because it put them up 3 with 4 seconds left, and it ended up they won the game. So they won 56-53. But Sid, I'm going to send you the video, and I'm glad I didn't mention it to you before because I wanted to tell you about it, and then I was going to show you the video because I showed Michael, and it was like, how is that possible? So her only basket of the game was that pretty legit. It was wild.
I'm excited to watch it. Yeah, I mean, this isn't a game, Arizona State versus UNLV, that not really on our radar, so we didn't really watch. But it's fun when there's like these crazy endings to games that just make the game so much better. So I'm excited to watch it. That'll be great.
I'm excited to hear. You know how you loved Hannah's shot and that she was able to you were watching her footwork and it looked so good. No footwork was added here. This was a holy heave that banked in and went in. So, it was a great shot and just something that girl will remember, that team will remember. And overall, it was exciting. I watched it over and over. I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay, let's jump into our fourth quarter here, and it's all around this week's holiday tournaments. So we spent a lot of time last year highlighting some of these games. There's a lot of games played in the next week around Thanksgiving, and they happen in different areas, a lot of tropical places. Becca and I also played in them when we were back in our college days when we were playing. So it's fun to get off campuses and play in different remote areas. And sometimes it's a distraction for teams and you can tell they're not really themselves. So it'll be interesting to see what upsets happen because there will for sure be upsets that happen at these holiday tournaments.
Yeah, this is literally the time that Notre Dame went to the Cayman Islands or something last year and went 0 for 2. Like this was the tournament that, again, kind of takes your focus elsewhere. But for teams that can really rein it in, it's a great experience. I will say Thanksgiving time is a lot of times when girls can't get home anyway. They have practices, they have games. So adding like a holiday scheduled tournament and a lot of times families come to the holiday tournament and make it a whole Thanksgiving Day situation, I think is a ton of fun. I'm bummed we only got to do it once when I was at Notre Dame. Because I just think it's something that almost every school, if you have the budget and the means, I think this should be something that is always done. Add one in Hawaii, add one in Florida. Like, I just think, why not? If you're on campus anyway, you might as well enjoy it a bit and play some good competition.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not like you go home during the holidays anyways to see your family. So might as well go somewhere fun. Okay, so this Wednesday, there are 3 matchups to get these kicked off that are really noteworthy and worth watching. So Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, number 4 at the time, Texas, is going to play number 3, UCLA, and that game is in Vegas. So that's going to be a really, really good matchup. Like, I'm excited to see. Yeah. Oh, we got to see how Oldacre does against some of the lower end bats.
Man.
It's going to be a battle down low, I think, which is fun.
And then think about Rory Harmon versus Kiki Rice.
Oh, yeah.
You have Booker on the wing. I think this is going to be real good.
It's a solid matchup. Like in both teams, toss up to me on who wins this one.
Yeah.
I think UCLA will win it, but Texas could hang. Like, I would not be surprised if Texas won. It's, to your point, like a great matchup of a game.
And this is kind of like the Michigan UConn level caliber game that we're getting so early. I think it's pretty awesome. Man, I'm sitting here. I'm like, man, how are we this blessed to get this many amazing top 5 matchups within the first couple weeks here?
It's great. Like, these coaches are not afraid to play somebody, and I love that. Then later on Wednesday at 4:30 Eastern, right after that game, number 2 South Carolina is going to play Duke has now fallen off, right? They used to be starting the season ranked number 7. So when you talk about all these like great matchups, like Duke has got their hands full in this one, the way they've been playing. But that's regardless a solid matchup there. Again, that one's in Vegas right after that Texas UCLA game. And then after that, Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern, number 9 Maryland plays number 20 Kentucky and Puerto Rico. So that's going to be a solid game. Also, watching Kentucky play Louisville, we talked about how disciplined they are. Now they got to turn around and play Brenda Freeze in Maryland, and Maryland is good. They've got a really good freshman right now who's showing up. We're going to highlight her probably a little bit. Maybe after this game, we'll see how she plays. But Maryland's is really good. Number 9. I'm a huge Brenda Freeze fan, so I'm kind of hoping that they hold here and beat Kentucky. But that's going to be another really good matchup. Both teams really well coached. So back to back on Wednesday, you could turn that TV on at 2 p.m. Eastern and pretty much watch it throughout the rest of the afternoon into the evening. And there's great games happening on Wednesday. And that really kicks off this tournament play and will determine who plays who, depending on the style of tournament it is. And so it's going to be fun to watch. Absolutely. And then one that's worth noting on Sunday, this isn't necessarily part of one of those holiday tournaments, but it's on the schedule. Sunday at 4:30 Eastern, number 15 Tennessee plays number 3 UCLA. So UCLA is playing in this for the Thanksgiving tournament round robin, and they're going to turn around and play Tennessee on Sunday. So they've got a packed week here if you're a UCLA Bruins fan, which will be fun. So worth highlighting there. But if we talk about the overall holiday tournaments that are happening this week, there's the Players Era Women's Championship. That's November 26th through the 27th. That's the one that's in Vegas where Texas and UCLA and Duke and South Carolina are playing in. And that's at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Vegas. That's, I think, a fun one. The games will include 2 semifinal matchups on November 26th, followed by the third place and championship games on November 27th. So again, those teams are going to be there. Whoever wins, we're going to see what matchup happens the next day. But that's an awesome tournament that's going to be happening this week. And then the Discover Puerto Rico Shootout is November 26th through 28th. Kentucky, Maryland, Wake Forest, UCF are in that one. That's at, again, Puerto Rico, which that's going to be a good one. And I don't know, Becca, does this location sing to you? Did you ever play there when you were in Puerto Rico?
You know, what's crazy is I did. Like, that was actually my last season, our main gym in Catalina.
That's awesome.
We won there. So I was like, that was my final season. It was good vibes. But also, you know what the funny part is at one time when I was in Puerto Rico, Coastal Carolina was playing in a tournament there at a separate gym. And I knew someone on the team because I had coached her sister in AAU. So I went to the game to watch it. It was just a blast from the past. It was crazy small world to be in Puerto Rico and, watching Coastal Carolina. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
That's very cool. And then there's the Virgin Islands Paradise Jam, which is the tournament that I have played in. This one's been going on for a long time now. That one's in St. Thomas, November 27th through the 29th. So this one's got a couple of divisions. There's 3 divisions. So Boise State, Elon, North Dakota, Tulane is in one, BYU, Oregon State, Vanderbilt, Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is a good team to watch this year. So if you're looking to tune into the Paradise Jam, I think they could make a splash. And then the 3rd division has LSU, Marist, Miami, and Washington State. It'll be interesting to see how LSU does against a Miami team who's decent, right? They're finally going to have to play somebody. So that one I think is maybe worth tuning into there also. There's a Fort Myers tip-off that's happening the 28th through the 29th. Kansas, Georgia, Dayton, Butler, Northwestern, Missouri playing in that one. And then there's a couple Nassau, Bahama tournaments that are happening with teams like Alabama, Minnesota, Ohio State, South Florida, Arkansas State, Houston, Tulsa. So there's a lot of teams playing. Again, we mentioned it. These holiday tournaments are a big deal. There's a lot of teams across the country playing and some really good matchups this week. So should be fun. A lot of good basketball going to happen here.
Sid, which tournament are you going to?
Oh, man. I mean, the Players Era, it's got South Carolina, UCLA, Duke, and Texas. I'm not like a huge Vegas fan, so I wish it was in a different location. But those matchups, like we mentioned, are just phenomenal. That's happening this week. How about you?
Yeah, I agree. That one, if I'm watching basketball, I'm going to that one without a doubt. But if I'm not, really caring about basketball, and I can see a lot of games. I'm going to head to the Virgin Islands. I'm going to head back there because I need a tan.
There you go. Have a little rum,
Yeah.
sit by the beach, relax in some good weather. That sounds
Yes,
amazing, doesn't it?
it does. I think we should head out. Can we take
Yeah.
this on the road? Like when are we going on site, Sid? Like
There you go. I like that. It's not a bad idea. Maybe next year. Maybe it's in the
man,
cards.
that'd be so fun.
That'd be fun. All right, let's go ahead and wrap today's episode. We mentioned this a lot, but we really appreciate all who listen and tune in each week. It's so much fun for us just to talk the game and watch a lot of these games and debrief them. And it's just great. So really appreciate everyone who's listening and downloading episodes, and really want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. If you're outside of the United States, well, maybe Thanksgiving is not your thing. Just have a great week, right? So we've got some listeners, some foreign listeners also. So shout out to you all. But happy Thanksgiving to those here in the States, and excited to highlight some of these games. We mentioned there's some great matchups happening this week.
Yep, we'll be back next week for even some more debriefs on how they go, and by then hopefully we'll be not as full, but be able to talk about the games and catch our breath a bit and enjoy the holidays. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and I'll see you, Sid.
We'll see you, Beck.
That's the 28.5 final buzzer for today's episode. Don't forget to hit follow and download on your preferred podcast platform to catch every play-by-play. New episodes drop each week throughout the season.
If you've enjoyed our courtside chat, drop us a review or follow us on our social media accounts where you can send us questions that may be selected for our Team Huddle Q&A episodes. And remember, from females who have played the game, the size of the ball matters.